Welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV drama series. Today's drama story is about Captain Right versus Horrible Wolf. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. You know the phrase, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? That applies here, and also a bit of keep a watchful eye on a person. Now, a bit of backstory. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV for 9 years, so I know a thing or two, and adapted with it along the way, even earning a mentor crown through all the effort I put in for it. I also help my friends or randoms sometimes clear content, or coach some people in PvP. Even have a mini fan club since my in-game name is more or less based off another character name from another franchise. And being a bun means sometimes people want to G-pose with me for fun. We were just talking about bun boys! The story starts late August, and I was raiding with a friend. Let's call her Strawberry. Helping them clear P4S Part 1 before the next patch drops. I also was working on an alt character getting through Endwalker, so I can raid on both characters for the next patch. All is well, and Strawberry's group is making good prog through P4S, even hitting Enrage on back-to-back pulls. We troll and grief Strawberry for the memes, but nonetheless, we are having fun. Also, I was streaming this so we can have memes to watch back for later. Enter the main villain of this story, Dictator Wolf. Another friend and a tank main, but one I don't hang out with much, for obvious reasons which will come to light soon. He is watching my stream to see what I'm up to and sees that I'm in P4S with them. He asked if I would raid with them on my main. I declined, saying my main is raiding with Strawberry's group, but I can use my alt to raid with him since my alt was near the end of the MSQ, around Elpis at the time. He thought about it and was refusing to take my alt, saying he wanted my main. Now for context, his group was not filled yet, and was about 5 out of 8. Now Strawberry can see my chat and asked if I was going to raid with them, and since my alt is a tank main, she said it would be fine either way. I told both Wolf and Strawberry that my main is with the current group, and that is the end of that. Wolf had no choice but to accept it, or look for another tank to fill in. We clear P4S on the last day, right before the patch drop, and we called it a win in the books. New patch drops, and I'm zipping through it so I can get to the extreme fight. I clear the fight on day 2 and farmed a few weapons. I also get my alt zipped through and caught up a week after and get her a kill a week after the patch drops. 3 weeks into the patch, and Strawberry wants to kill Barbie Extreme and get a weapon. I agreed and helped her get a few weapons, so we are set and ready. Week 3 and Strawberry's group is ready to start raiding with a new tier. We have the gear and the food, and we're ready to meme ourselves and feel some pain. We make prog on our first day and got to the halfway mark a few times on the 3rd pull. We laugh, we suffer, and we learn. Meanwhile, Wolf is still struggling to find 2 more people for his group. Now, I have told Wolf to recruit people outside of using Party Finder. I told him to use Reddit, and he would get a much faster response within hours, no less than 2 days. It worked for me 3 times in the past, and for others as well. Now, this is where his ego starts showing. In a condescending tone, he says, "Why don't you make it then, Mr. Smart Guy, since you know everything?" Wolf also said that he didn't have Reddit, and that's why he couldn't recruit that way. Any excuse he could use, he used it. He eventually did find the last 2 people which were healers for the group, and was ready to start in the next week. But Wolf wanted to do Barbie X to get a kill and obtain the weapon first. Now I coached them through it and helped them get a kill, but it was sheer luck that it happened. Even when we did get the clear, he wanted a group photo, and he was being a bit of a control freak during the photo. He was ordering people about where to stand, this and that. That kill was the only kill for the day, and the next day they went in without me because I had important IRL things to do. Wolf was streaming, but he also had the audacity to badmouth me after I helped teach them the fight and get the kill. Yes, his ego forced things to be his way or the highway. If someone didn't like it, they should leave. Now on Wolf's stream, he called me a griefer and an elitist, toxic player for how I played. Which I'm not. I just follow the unspoken rule of greed while respecting the mechanics. After he finished his stream, with him not knowing that I was actually watching, I went home and logged in, and I streamed myself. During my stream, I got my last few kills for my ult. Wolf dropped by my stream and volunteered to help, but he said it in a sarcastic tone about how I denied him always. Now the real shit show starts with him. My last kill is what some would call a speed kill. It kinda unintentionally happened, but it was smooth and fast. And we as a group took a screenshot of it, and I saved the video for them to see later on YouTube. Wolf was like, "Wow, that was fast, but you all look like elitists with something to prove. And wow, a bunch of show-offs." Strawberry was in my stream cheering me on, and at the time she timed out Wolf since Wolf was getting salty. The following week, Wolf's group is talking about how they would give the raid loot out, which Wolf said the loot goes to DPS first, then the healers, then the tanks. The idea in mind is that it would make re-clears faster. Now, I have killed P5S on my ult in PF 2 times already, and my main has about 4 kills at this point, so I've seen the pain in the later fights. I voiced my opinion saying, "I disagree with you. You should gear up tank along with the DPS since it's a super casual group, so tank busters in the P5S won't feel as bad." His group has been in P5S once, so he should know about the tank busters. But he stood by his word, thinking like a hardcore world first group, also saying it's a waste to give tanks and healers loot, and that DPS is the only priority for loot first. Now, I was tempted to walk out of the group at this point, but oh boy, the calm before the storm was yet to happen. The following weekend was a freebie since a member was sick, so he wanted to do E12S to get his mount. I get dragged along for this even though I have no intention of doing E12, nor do I remember the fight. But nonetheless, we go in. I suggested I be the main tank, since at least it will be less painful, but his ego strikes again. Mind you, he is streaming and he is throwing a massive bitch fit about calling me a toxic elitist and a show-off. This is probably because I have a Legends title and I use my Legends weapon. This probably hurts Wolf's pride and ego. Wolf then said, "If you don't like being in here, you can just leave." So I upped and left before he pulled and I logged off. But oh boy, the storm had brewed even more, which led to him getting more backlash. Our friend Luna, who was filling in that day, had messaged me on Discord asking if I was okay and filled me in with what else happened. So apparently, Wolf's in a D&D group and the DM, the Dungeon Master, was watching. And well, he didn't take it too kindly to Wolf's tone. Since Wolf's pride and ego rules over him, he kicked me from the raid group Discord and his other Discords. The Dungeon Master, which was watching Wolf's stream, had issues with this and well ripped into him for a while and cancelled the D&D game for the day. His words was, "I don't want egotistical dumbasses in my D&D game." Luna also told me the group felt bad with how he was disrespecting me, even making a racist joke at me. Now this is the point where Luna told me it was for reasons like this that she had stopped raiding with him twice. Back during E9S and again during P1S, the Dungeon Master told him to apologize to me, but as of today, as of writing this, Wolf still hasn't said anything to me, nor am I going back into his Discord. I heard Wolf is in more trouble with others for his abusive dictatorship, which I heard he's been like this for quite some time, like years, at least since late Stormblood. Remember people, don't be an ass to those that are willing to help you. Otherwise, you never know what karma will strike you back in the ass 10 times over, and you lose more than what you might expect. The end. Here's my take on this story. I think, like, of course, it's never good to talk shit about your teammates ever on stream. You know, we've seen multiple videos already about people being on stream and shit talking like the healer, that ninja. So if Wolf was doing that on stream, that was also bad. I don't really know the extent of how bad it really was on stream, but still, you should never talk badly about your teammates and your static. Oh my god, there's so many people here. That's so cute. This is the most people I've ever had for a drama story. Pog. I do want to say a lot of the story with the OP talking and how he talked made me think of that musical called Dr. Horrible with Captain Hammer. The OP is Captain Hammer and Wolf is Dr. Horrible. A little bit. Okay, the reason why I say the OP is like Captain Hammer is like he really hypes himself up. He told us at the beginning of the story he has a fan club. He's like, okay, if Wolf is sensing that he's a show-off and an elitist and like he has to get this vibe from something, right? And like we already see like little clues of it with how he writes the story. So like I think Wolf is kind of right that he probably is the type of player where he helps people, but he does it in a way where he shows off. Yeah, still a good thing that he helps, but I think there's an off vibe to it a little bit. So that's why I'm like laughing a little bit, because the whole story is funny. Like there's a little bit of wrong, like there's wrong on both ends. It comes off that way. The story also is like, yeah, and I've done it, so here's my suggestion. And like, okay, yeah, Wolf definitely did have jealousy tendencies. Maybe he really was jealous of the OP for having the legend title, for having the weapon and all that. But if Wolf was the leader of that static and the OP was probably like trying to say things over him or like act like a better leader, I can see how Wolf would be annoyed. It sounds like two people like just fighting for attention. In the end of the day, it's up to like whoever the read. Oh my god, that was Amaric. In the end of the day, the loot and whatever rules is going on within the static is up to the static leader, and I guess Wolf was the leader. People just clash. Personalities clash in statics a lot, especially when two people want to be the leader, and I think that's just what happened. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this Final Fantasy XIV drama story. If you have any of your own drama stories that you'd like me to share and read out anonymously, feel free to reach out to my Discord, discord.gg/Pathra. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Seems destiny ends with me saving you. The only doom that's looming is you loving me to death. So I'll give you a second to catch your breath.